In this video, we're going to be looking at accessing object properties. So an object property is something like this. First name, this is a property of this object. So if you have an object like this, student, it can have one or more properties, and you at one point or the other you need to access the property, maybe to get the value or to modify or delete. There are different scenarios where we have to access the object property. So there are different methods we can use, basically two methods. So we can access the object property through the dot notation and the bracket notation. So using the dot notation, we access properties of an object by typing the name of the object followed by a dot and then the property name. This will return the value of the property. So let's say I want to get the first name of this guy, this object, from this object. So the first name is a property here, and I want to access it. So to access using the dot notation, I just need to hit the dots there. So after typing the name of the object, student, like this, I'll hit a dot and then the property name. So first name, like this. Yeah. So JavaScript makes this quite simple. Most languages, in my experience, I've not seen any language that has this kind of structure. Most languages use this second method, right? So, but JavaScript has this structure that makes it easier to access properties from an object. So if I run this, you can see I've been able to get the first name property from this object. I can do the same thing here. I can see first name, right? Let me clear this. So we can see we'll be able to access the first name properties in both objects. So this is one of the methods that can be used in accessing a property from an object, right? So the second method is the bracket notation. So this can be used to access dynamic properties. So in situations where maybe the property was dynamically created, you will have to use the bracket notation, right, to access the properties, and even known properties. So in this case, this was created here, so we actually know this property. We know that we have the first name, but we can still access it with the bracket, and this is the syntax. So to access with the bracket notation, we type the name of the object like this, and then we have this in bracket, in square brackets, basically. So we see we have the same results. I can do the same thing here. So we have the square bracket, and then we have a quote. It can be single quote or double quote. Any of the two will work. So we have the name of the object, opening and closing square bracket, and inside the square bracket you have a quote. It can be a double quote or a single quote. In this case, I'm using a single quote, and then the name of the property you want to access. So you can see we have the same result. So whether you use the dot notation or the bracket notation, you have the same result. So the two methods are used in accessing properties from an object, right? So I will say that this is the dot notation is use more often. So you are going to see that a lot in JavaScript, where you have something like student.firstname like this. You are going to see it a lot because this is more convenient. So if I already know that first name exists on student, then I can just call this automatically. Mostly we use the bracket like this, the bracket notation, when the properties are dynamically created. We are going to see that subsequently in our tutorials. There may be an instance where the name of the property is not hard-coded like this. It may come from an input. Maybe the user typed the name and the value. So you can have a structure where the user have to type in the key, what the person want to type, what the person want to store, and the value as well. So in that case, the key is dynamically created. So you will definitely have to use the bracket to access it like that. So that's it for this video. We continue in the next video. Thank you.